Hey, happy Monday. That should be a little bit better. Happy Monday. I hope everyone had great weekends. I am exhausted, if you cannot tell. We had a friend in town, and I usually go to bed pretty early. My days of going out every day, staying out late, going to sleep for a few hours, those are long gone. So doing some more of that, I'm just very tired. I need to catch up on some sleep. But I did have fun, had a good weekend. I hope you did too. And we are back. So if you don't know who I am Shamaree. I am a relationship and intimacy coach, and I empower women to get the confidence and pleasure that they deserve so that they no longer settle for lack of satisfaction, especially within relationships. And we do these weekly Q&As where you guys submit questions to me throughout the week in my story. So if you're not following me, follow me now before the questions start. Click the little arrow above in the drop down. Go ahead, hit follow. When you follow me throughout the week, I post a story where you can submit questions directly to me. So if you have questions about relationships or intimacy, you need a little insight on your situation or anything like that, you have the opportunity to submit that to me and receive an answer in the weekly Q&As. And the weekly Q&As are typically every Monday, unless I tell y'all I need a break, unless it's a holiday or something like that. So definitely follow me. Stay tuned on Mondays in order to get your questions answered. And I typically try to keep this around 30-ish minutes. So I'll let you guys know if that changes at all. But we're going to jump into the questions. So the first one that I have is, do you think it's better to be friends first before getting into a relationship? And I had another similar sort of question, was like, should your partner be your best friend? So I'm just going to kind of put those two together and adjust both. So do I think that it's better to be friends first before getting into a relationship? I think this question, when people say that you should be friends with your partner first and foremost, or at least in addition to any romantic sort of pursuits, I think that comes from the fact that when you are in a long-term relationship, there are going to be times where you do not like this person, you do not love this person, but if they are your friend and you know that they are a good person, you enjoy them as a person, you know that they have your back, the fact that you maybe don't feel lovey-dovey towards them, you don't feel the romance, maybe the chemistry, or maybe you're not intimate as much, you're not having sex, all of those things disappear, at least you would still be friends with them. So you still are okay with them being around, even if you don't necessarily feel super drawn to them. You don't feel like you're getting excited about them. You still want to be around them because they're your friend. So I think that is primarily where that comes from when they say your partner should be your friend. That should be the foundation of the relationship. I think that it is helpful, but I don't think you have to. Like I said, I don't like to say that people have to do things this way in order for it to work, because everyone is different. Everyone has different expectations. Everyone has different experiences, different desires. So if you don't want your partner to be your friend, that's a choice that you can make for yourself. I just think that most people, when they are saying this, it's going to get to a point where you're annoyed, you're bothered. Maybe you look at them and you're just like, I don't want to touch you today. Like, I don't want to talk to you today. I don't feel lusty for you today. And on those days, the foundation that you guys have, whether you want to call that friendship or just kind of the history of the relationship, that is what keeps you there. When you feel like that, when you can look at them, be annoyed, bothered, and still have the desire to be with them, I think that's what the motivation is behind that, more so than like, let's spend a year getting to know each other as only friends, nothing else, and then later on we can enter a relationship. I don't think that people are necessarily saying it in that way. I could be wrong. I don't know what people be thinking. But that's just my interpretation of it, is to make sure that there's something other than you being attracted to this person, other than I love you so much, other than I want to have sex with you. It has to be something more to it to keep you there when those difficult times come up, because they will, and they do. So I think that's where that's coming from. And as far as if your partner should be your best friend, my husband is one of my best friends. He is not the only best friend, but I was reading a lot of people also saying like, nah, that's my man, that's not my best friend. Men don't gossip or whatever, like they don't share their deep dark secrets, and I'm not going to share my deep dark secrets with him if it's not that energy. And everyone has different requirements or different expectations of what a best friend is. But for me, my husband is one of my best friends, and I do feel comfortable to talk to him, whether he cares about it or not. And vice versa. Like, he talks to me about things, not as in depth as maybe he would his guy friends, but he talks to me about things I maybe can't give him the same type of response that they can, and vice versa. I was asking him about my eyebrows yesterday, and he's just like, I don't know. Like, he can't really, he's like, they look fine to me. Like, certain things he may not have the same response as my friend would, like my female best friends or my other best friends, but he's still one of my best friends, essentially. Like, I feel comfortable to share things with him. I feel safe, and that he's not going to go run telling my business to the world. I feel like he has my back. All of those things that I would expect from a best friend. They know you beyond what you show, and that's what a partner is for me. That's what I want from a partner, is for them to know me on that level. So for me, I do want my partner to be one of my best friends, and probably not the only. I don't think that's necessarily probably the most healthy thing, but for them to be added to the list, I don't think there's a problem with that at all, because like I said, when it comes to relationships, there's going to be a time when maybe you're just not feeling them like that romantically, and there has to be some motivation, something that allows you to still put in that effort. So I love you. I care about you. You're a great person. I can look beyond how I feel in this moment and still be present here. And so that's where I think that's coming from as well. So if you don't want them to be your best friend, that's fine. But if you think about a partner and a friend, for me, like I tell everybody, make a list what you want and what you desire, what you think you need from a relationship, what you want, all of the things, right? But when I make that list, as far as what a friend is and what a partner is, a lot of the qualities are the same. The difference comes in with the romance and the level of intimacy and closeness, in that in a sexual or an intimate way. They see me in a different way than my friends, right? So that would be the main difference for me. But everything else, like, I still need you to hold me down like a friend, my best friend. So that's my opinion. Let me know what y'all think. You can leave a comment if you're watching the replay, #replay, and let me know what you think, because I've read a lot of different point of views on that, and like I said, everyone's different, but that's mine. The first question you asked me, what I think, so that's what I think. The second question we have here is, how is married life for you? I'm scared to get married in general, thinking it won't last. So when I read this, I wasn't exactly sure how to answer it. So for the first part, how is married life for you? It is definitely, like, it's good. Like, I like being married. I think it's great. Like, we have a pretty solid relationship at this point. But I do also want to preface that with some information. So a lot of times people, they see us, they're like, oh my gosh, like, goals, I want a relationship similar, not the same, because you shouldn't want your relationship to be the same at all, but maybe similar emotions, similar experiences, or just the excitement for a relationship maybe. But I'm going to say that we have known each other for like 11 years at this point. And we have been married for 2 of those years. So it was a long process to get to this point. And I always want people to understand that, because they look and they see the pretty pictures, they see the lifestyle, they see, oh, we look good together, whatever it is that people see. And then they're like, oh, I want that. But they don't know what it is that it took to get to that. So again, I've known him for 11 years and we have been married for 2 years. So when we met, it kind of goes back to the first question. It was just kind of like a, hey, show me around sort of thing. Like, and that was me, because I'm that way. I'm like, yo, you need to show me around. Like, I'm new to town, whatever. It evolved into kind of a friends with benefits situation. Eventually we liked each other. Eventually we started dating, and it kind of unfolded that way. But throughout that entire time, so like the 8 or 9 years that we were like going back and forth and figuring things out, we had a lot to work on. We worked on a lot. We're both stubborn in a lot of ways, maybe not so much now, but especially then, we're young, we live in our life, we're used to what we're used to, and we had to learn how to be together and how to communicate better, how to express ourselves in a way that's effective and helpful. And so we did a lot of that work before we got married. So I went to my own individual counseling. I've hired coaches to work on my own personal issues that I feel like I've had even before him. And we also went to couples counseling together. So this is something that we have actively worked on and put a lot of effort into. So now it's good. It's great. We get along. We don't really argue and things like, because we learned how to be together. We learned how to communicate. And there are those days where like maybe he's being annoying, maybe I'm being annoying. But again, we have that foundation because we've put in so much work. So it is good for me. It is good for us. And I think that maybe sometimes people don't do as much of that work beforehand. So once they get married, expectations happen. Once that title changes, what we expect from a husband or a wife is different than someone we're just talking to. And that's normal. That's what we do. We're human. We have those expectations. It's going to happen, right? So when that happens, if you haven't done the work, a lot of times that's when they have the most struggle. So for me, going into marriage, because we have done so much of that work beforehand, it's not even in my mind that it's not going to work out. We've done a lot of work, and that's not to say that we're not going to still have difficult things to go through, because there's always that possibility. There's always those things that can happen that kind of shake things up in your world. But we've done so much that I'm confident that whenever those things do happen, that we have a lot of the tools already to work through it. So that is my take. So part of it is actually doing the work and like not just expecting, oh, we look good together, let's take some pictures, we can go out on dates, we can take vacations or whatever, because it looks nice, it's great. I love going on vacation. I love all of that. But that's not at all what it is most of the time. Most of the time, I'm sitting in the house looking crazy. We're both sitting in the house looking crazy, working. We're both entrepreneurs. We're both very busy people. It's like really prioritizing the relationship, doing the work, still making an effort to be present and to be there even when we're getting on each other's nerves. So there's a lot that goes into it, and I don't want people to glamorize it in any way. So I always tell people, like, I appreciate it. It's love, because I know how far we've come. So when people are able to say like, yo, I'm so happy to see this, like I want to have that, I appreciate that. And I genuinely, like, I feel it, but know that this took a very long time. So with that said, make sure you're doing your vetting process, making sure that you're doing your work for yourself first and foremost, but then also as a unit, making sure that you're coming together and doing the work that you need as a unit. And then also just some mindset stuff. Like if you go into a situation expecting that it's going to be bad or that it's not going to work, you low-key always have that out. Like, I knew this wasn't going to work anyway, so you're less likely to give as much energy or effort to it, which becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's probably not going to work because you're not putting in 100%. So definitely work on the mindset. If you need help with that, I am doing clarity calls. It's up to 60 minutes for the free. So if you're following me, which you should be because I told y'all to follow me, if you look at the link in my bio and click on that, my easy tree, it's the first thing there. I'm doing clarity calls. So sign up and I can kind of help you a little bit more with mindset because it is a big one. It's controlling everything. Excuse me. So that's big. That's almost before all the work that I said. Excuse me. Goodness gracious. So again, if you need help with the mindset portion of thing and reframing some of those things. So if you haven't seen successful relationships, if you've never had a successful relationship, I get it. It makes sense that your expectations for that are not very high. But we can work on the mindset. We can give you some tools, and you need to get a clarity call in order for me to do that more specifically for you. And so now that we're in the middle and I done had a cough attack, let me reintroduce myself. I am Shamaree. I am a relationship and intimacy coach, and I empower women to get the confidence and pleasure that they deserve so that they no longer settle for lack of satisfaction, especially in relationships. Excuse me. I have 2 more questions if I can get through. So the next one, I kind of cut out a little part of it because I think that ultimately what they were getting at is anal sex dangerous. And so I'm going to say first, I am not a doctor. So I'm not a doctor. Know that. But what I will say is if you have very serious concerns as far as maybe any medical concerns that you have, physical issues that you have, any medication that you're taking that may impact your digestive system and your rectum, your anus, any of that, definitely check with the doctor. I can't help you with that. So check with the doctor. I know it's not necessarily the first thing you want to ask or to mention, but doctors see a whole lot. You asking them about this ain't nothing. It's a drop in the bucket. Trust me. I promise you. They see so much. They hear so much that they're not going to be surprised. Nothing's going to shock them. It's just not at this point. Unless they started being a doctor yesterday, they're not going to be surprised. And if they don't feel comfortable talking to you about that, that's probably not a doctor that you want to keep going to. You should always feel comfortable to ask any question that you have. And if they make you feel like you should not be comfortable asking them a question, definitely look for a different doctor. So with that said, unless you have any condition that your doctor will let you know about and give you precautions about, generally speaking, it is not. If you take precautions, if you are very careful and don't just bring it on somebody or just decide, oh, we're going to do it right now. So it definitely usually takes preparation in order for someone to feel comfortable. So I'm going to say that. If you have more specific questions or anything, you can send that to me, but I probably won't get into too much detail on Instagram. We know I try to keep it a little clean, a little bit. So check with a doctor, see if you have any special considerations. But definitely if you are prepared, and there's many ways that you can prepare. If you're relaxed, if you're using a lot of lubrication, which you should be using regardless, then you should mostly be okay. But definitely check with a doctor. That's not me. I can't tell you if you specifically have things that might make it dangerous for you. And then the last question, how do you know if someone is too good to be true? How do you know if someone is too good to be true? Okay, so there's two ways that I'm going to go about addressing this. So the first one is this generally is typically a response from an insecurity or a lack. So for me personally, I have never thought that anyone was too good to be true, because anything that I receive, I deserve that and 10 times more, honestly. Like, I genuinely feel that way. Like, there has never been an instance where I was like, oh man, I don't deserve this. Never. I deserve all this and more. And I'm going to have all of this and more. So because I have that level of confidence, I can't even conceptualize this on a personal level. I do understand it just psychologically, and from working with clients, this is a very real thing. And a lot of people like to think like, oh, this person, maybe they're love bombing, or they're a narcissist, or it's something that they're doing that is making me feel this way. Like, I can't trust it. I'm getting a bad feeling. And it could very well be that there are those people in the world, right? But sometimes it's not. Not everyone is a narcissist. Not everyone is antisocial. It's just not. It's not a reality, right? So sometimes it is us, and sometimes it is our thought process. We feel like we don't deserve that. We've never seen it. We've never received it before. So this can't be real. This can't be something that I accept, because it's not possible. Like, I've never seen this. I've never had it. It's just not possible. So if that is the motivation, so deep down believing that maybe I don't deserve this, and not because you want to believe that you don't deserve it, you just don't think that is a real thing, that people genuinely have happy relationships, that someone can genuinely want to take care of you, they can genuinely want to provide for you, or take you nice places, give you nice things, or shower you with love and attention. What is it that's causing you to have that belief? Typically, it's a lack of confidence. It's bad past experiences. And if that is the case, I do have a confidence challenge that I am doing in June. It's free. It's a 5-day challenge. And we're going to be talking about how we can address some of those insecurities and build up confidence. Because when we're confident, like I said, there's nothing that you don't deserve. Like, if it's a good thing that's happening in your life, being able to accept it, because you do deserve it. You deserve nice things. You deserve to have someone nice in your life if that's what you want. So we can definitely work on that. Stay tuned for more announcements, more information. I've been putting it together, so I'll get you more specific information as we get a little bit closer to it. But I think that anyone can definitely use the 5-day challenge just to we can always get more confident. Like, I think that we can always improve upon ourselves. So the more that we learn and grow and develop as a person, the more confident that we should be becoming. If we're getting better, we should only feel better, right? So definitely we can do that. The other side of that kind of goes along with kind of the theme of the first two questions, is just vetting people and really taking the time to get to know people. A lot of times we get to know people and it's very surface level. And of course people can pretend. I can put on a front and let you think that I'm this amazing person, that I have all these things to offer. But generally speaking, the more and deeper you get to know someone, you start to see those cracks. Or so that's when you hear about those red flags, things that people typically overlook. And not that you should cut someone off immediately once you see a red flag, because sometimes it is our glasses, our perception, and it's not necessarily what they're doing. But making sure that we're taking note and that we're analyzing, further exploring, trying to figure out what is really happening. So is it really that it's too good and they're just trying to get something from us, or is it that I'm afraid? And that is often what it is. I'm afraid. I feel like I don't deserve it. I feel like this can't be real. So going back to the other question, thinking that maybe it won't last and that this is just temporary, so I shouldn't get used to it. I shouldn't accept this. So we definitely got to work on that. Again, if you want to get a clarity call, it's up to 60 minutes, no cost to you at all. My schedule is open for the month of May. So if you want to do it, you want to do it now. Click on the link in my IG bio, scroll, and you should see the clarity call. You schedule a time that works for you. We'll talk. We'll get it going. Figure out what's going on, and maybe a little bit about what the root of it is, so that we're able to create a plan to address it in a more effective way to get you what you really want and what you deserve. Because like I said, you do deserve nice things. Even if you have never received it before, that don't mean you can't start now. So definitely keep an eye out for that. If you click on the link in my bio, my course is there as well. And I actually still have it on sale. I'm going to take it off. I forgot. Tired, remember, very tired. So it's still 50% off. You can still get that additional 10% off if you use the MomLife10 coupon code. So definitely go do that now before I take it off. If you are interested in getting better sex, guide to confidence, satisfaction, and orgasms without faking. And I'm about to go. I have a meeting in a little bit, and like I said, I am tired. So gonna go. I'll see you guys later. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, and bye.